I was like bold.
I just think it's awesome.
I don't know what do you call your marketing feel? Like what do you when you're talking to like a marketing firm? How do you describe it? Like I'm tiger bold or like
Well, it's all about action because we can have all the great ideas in the world, and if we don't take action, so I wanted to have something. And I've been doing so much radio. I'm behind a microphone. I'm not often in front of a camera, so I wanted to just have something that was so representative of me, and that's one of the shots. Yeah.
Well, it's awesome.
Thank you.
Take action. Did that become? Is that where you started? Or is that your moniker over time?
Well, I'm somebody who's been interviewing. I've been interviewing celebrities and different entrepreneurs and folks that I find of interest for many, many years. And I started off with America Online. Remember that? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That squeaky modem sound?
Yeah.
And I was very lucky to have we used to have channels back in the day on AOL, and they were real folk in their industry.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to get an entertainment channel called The Daily Fix, and I wrote through a cartoon character in this on America Online. And I had the opportunity to interview lots and lots of celebrities and do movie reviews and entertainment writing. So I sort of got my chops there. And then when 9/11 happened, the whole world seemed to stop for everybody. And I just said, who cares what Britney Spears is wearing? I remember doing a press junket with Drew Barrymore, and she just broke down. It was the day after 9/11. And she just broke down crying, and she said, I'm sorry, but who cares about this movie? I'm sure the studio wasn't that happy about that. But so I decided to change up things and to take action and to find out what's going on with folks in the world, not just in the Middle East and here in the United States politically, but also to find out what's really important to people. And what I found is that it's, our health, our wealth or our prosperity, our ability to take care of ourselves and our family, and love. And so I switched gears completely and stopped doing all the entertainment stuff and celebrity stuff and started focusing in on those three things that motivate us as human beings and how we can change the world. And the only way to change the world on the outside is to change the world on the inside of us. So that's how I came up with and created Out of the Box with Christine and started working at a progressive public radio station. That's where I'm at right now. So if you hear stuff in the background, I apologize. But it's a very busy time at the radio station. So I'm just taking a couple moments to convey to the audience how important it is to take action when you feel that urge inside of you. Do it. Do it.
So you don't seem like the kind of person that would have any self-doubt concerns. Does that ever creep up for you?
You know what? I like to take really big challenges, and I like to step into things that may seem a little scary at first or overwhelming. And I have a lot of faith. I'm not religious, but I have a lot of faith that opportunities come to us for a reason. And when they come to us, we need to take advantage of it. I've parlayed it a little bit into the podcasting, but I have this ability to hear what the audience is asking or thinking about. So if I'm doing an interview or if I'm planning a show, I raise a lot of money here at the station. I just have this ability to hear what people are asking as they're listening. And I don't do a podcast show necessarily for what I want to learn. I try and gauge it and create it for what the audience wants to learn. And if you do that, you will be successful in whatever kind of broadcasting you do. When it's about the audience and what they're going to get, you're gonna receive so many followers, and your integrity will be intact. And that's pretty much what I've been able to rest my hat on, is my integrity with my audience, number one. And number two, to keep it entertaining and engaging so that they're riveted to the radio or they're riveted to the podcast show.
Saying, how did you figure out that you had this skill of being able to determine what your audience wanted?
You know what I did is I took all ego out of it. So the shows are never just my shows. They're the world's shows and my guests who I want to highlight and promote. So really, I just sort of take that ego out of it. And once you do that, you will be able to hear, see little flashes of insight that come to you. When I do a show, I never, ever send a list of questions to my guests. And a lot of people want them, they're like, so will you send me my questions? I did an interview with a master narcissist on YouTube. It's received over 250,000 downloads. And this master narcissist, it's one of the most popular shows I've ever done. And this master narcissist, who's a psychopathic narcissist, wanted the list of questions ahead of time and said, Christine, I would love to prepare fully for this interview. And could you please send me those list of questions? And I said, of course you would like those questions. You're a narcissist. You want to know. You want to be in control. And it's a conversation. So if I asked a question and somebody said, yes, I invented gold, you don't want to just go to the next question, right? You want to listen. And your listeners are listening. So they're going to know, they're going to smell it right away if you have an agenda or if you're actually engaged in a conversation that's intriguing to them. So that's pretty much it. And anybody can do it. It's just tapping into our intuition, into our psychic nature. We're all psychic. We're all intuitive. It's just listening to that.
Yeah, that's Rachel's special gift too with her audience. But I don't know if I don't know if everybody has that gift.
I think that I would agree. I like what you said. I think it's just a matter of discovering that part of ourselves and being willing to step into it without apology and step into it with confidence that what we're hearing back is what we were supposed to hear back. And what you're saying is it's that dialogue, it's that relationship. If the second I would try to take my voice and put it onto the audience, there's no connection. But if it's that kind of coming underneath and what am I hearing and what are you saying, how can I be a part of it? That's when that connection grows so unbelievably strong, where a lot of the comments I get is, how do you know what I was thinking today? And it's from paying attention.
It's from paying attention, and it's tapping into the zeitgeist when you do this long enough. And for beginning podcasters, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Podcasters Kit because my gift to everyone is a program called So You Want Your Own Podcast Show, and it's a real basic beginner's guide to finding out why you want to do a podcast show. Is it just to promote yourself and your company, or is it for something that's bigger than that? And also that's a responsibility. It's like getting a puppy, it's going to take some time and effort. You have to feed it and water it and massage it. And it's not something that you can just sort of say, yeah, I'm going to have a podcast show. You really need to kind of give it attention, but anyone can do it as long as there's the passion and your integrity is there. And as I've been listening to the former guests on this broadcast, it's amazing the amount of talent out there. It is so phenomenal. And one of the businesses that I have with my clients is to show them the power of the podcast, and that's taking for entrepreneurs and getting them prepared and getting them on podcast shows and radio shows and what to do, what not to do, but how they can reach millions of people just by getting booked as a guest on a podcast show. And then the other other arm of that business is teaching podcasters the art of the interview, teaching podcasters what to do, how to do it. And that's really exciting because there's more and more entrepreneurs having podcast shows and realizing that they can reach a huge audience. So it's an amazing phenomenon that we see, and I'm so happy to be a part of it and a part of the Podcasters Kit that you've got put together with amazing people.
Yeah, there are some pretty amazing people in it. I mean, we were actually surprised when people like you said yes. I was like, wow. I don't know how we got Christine Blosdale, but she said yes.
Of course. I was so impressed with the young lady who has the pod biz. She's got like 300 podcasts that she helps launch.
Yeah.
What an amazing young lady she is, and the opportunities that she's helping other people. I just think it's an incredible opportunity for people. This is the gold rush. This is definitely the modern day gold rush. So if we can help support people who are thinking about having a podcast show, thinking about dipping their toes in the water, I'd be more than happy to help in any way possible.
I can hear it.
Somehow we lost audio right there.
I can hear it. It's audio here.
Oh, it is?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
It's this computer.
Oh, this computer is freezing up.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was saying that I could hear it going on here, that this is the gold rush of podcasting. And this is the gold rush of connecting right now. Yeah. So I really do believe in that. And what I loved about her conversation earlier today, was it Michelle?
Yeah, Abraham.
Yeah, what I loved was that it was this idea that she understood her audience, like all the podcasts that joined in were part of her collective vibe. And it was, those are the people that joined in. It's that knitting of people.
Yeah. Yeah, this group of people that decided to be in Podcasters Kit and on the show, I was amazed how many of them knew each other.
Yeah.
Like as a regular practice, I was amazed by that. I think
you might have to restart them.
Yeah, I recently was I was one of the icons of influence at Steve Olsher's new media summit in San Diego just a couple weeks ago. And it's a great group of people because even though we're all competing, so to speak, for ears, when you're in your flow and you're doing who you are, if you're funny, if you're a great storyteller, if you're a techno geek, if you're a sports fanatic, everyone has their own stamp. Everyone has their own flavor on their show. And so there's plenty of room for everybody. There's plenty of room for everyone to jump into this amazing industry of podcasting. So welcome aboard, everybody.
So where do you take your business from here? Like, does it become bigger, or do you bigger. What do you do next? Like, what's the next plan? Because it seems like the take action lady is always going to be taking action.
Oh yeah. Yes. I'm proud to say that I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to be published. And my very first, I'm a contributing author in this book, Rock Stars, inspirational stories of success by 100 of the top business leaders, athletes, celebrities, and rock stars in the world. And it was just, it is a #1 best-selling book. It #1 best-selling on Amazon. And that's just the start, because what I want to do is write some more. I'm going to be writing some podcasting books and also doing speaking, because my dream is to speak to people and to motivate them to start their own business, to write their own book, to start their podcast, to express themselves as much as possible, because everybody has a story. Everybody has a story of overcoming an obstacle, of going from rags to riches, or from riches to rags to riches again. And I would love to help motivate people. So I want to take it on the speaking circuit. That's my next big action plan.
So the whole idea that book is a #1 bestseller, I mean, we tried last year to get Rachel's book on the New York Times bestseller list. Let me tell you, that is a feat, and it's like a triple feat in order to make that happen. Do you think that's in you? Do you think you got a New York Times bestselling book in you?
I think eventually I do. I'm going to be going a little bit of the self-publishing route, and the type. I don't need them to be bestsellers. It's great if it is, but it's mostly because I need to be able to communicate with people and establish myself as an author. So then that way I can also go on the speaking gigs and try and fill as many seats as I can when I'm either keynote speaking or supplementing speaking for people at events. That's my dream.
Cool. I'm hoping that's cool inspiration for someone to say, you know what, I do have knowledge that's not necessarily how to fix a car, but it's something else. So I appreciate you bringing that up for sure.
Oh yeah, we're all experts in something, right? We're all experts in something, and I always say, like, when people say, well, I'm just a housewife, I just raise my kids, that's huge. And if you have the ability to, feed your family on a super restricted budget, but it's still healthy, that's a podcast show, that's a book. And there's millions and millions of people who would listen to you, who would want to be a part of that because they can relate to it. And as a podcaster or as a radio host, the whole idea is to be able to connect with your audience. That's the most important thing I find. And being human. And for beginning podcasters, if you're listening to this or watching this, the main thing is that you go out and you start the podcast journey, and don't worry about being perfect, because we're never all perfect. Sometimes things happen, technology, right? Sometimes things go wrong, but the most important thing is that you keep trying and you at least make the attempt, because you never know what's going to happen if you make that attempt.
Well, man, I'm not sure how we would end better than that. That's like, how do you wrap up the perfect ending? So if you don't mind, that was pretty beautiful right there. I think that's a lesson for everyone.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you coming on the show. It's really great. And what you just said, I'm not even sure what else needs to be said. Like, maybe we should just be done for the day. That was pretty awesome.